Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another night. We get a little bit of an earlier start tonight than normal, so this should be fun. Should be able to get a whole lot done. Be able to stream for, oh man, a solid three hours or so tonight. We're good. It'll be fun. Make some serious progress. I think at this point we're about 15-ish hours in to the game. So yeah, let's see where we go. Yesterday we rounded up with a preview of the next piece, having a longer delay before the repeating if you hold down a key, and the blocks fall faster as you play. So we added that, and in thinking about that, I realized a couple of things. We need like a level indicator in the UI, because we have levels now. That's what's controlling how fast we go, but we have no way we're showing that. So we'll go ahead and we'll add that. What happened to my? Oh yeah, so this is me. Yeah, I'm confused on my own board. So we'll go ahead and get this end, and I think we will have at that point maybe finished everything that absolutely has to go in order to call this a Tetris game. So we'll make sure there's nothing hanging out. Good. We committed everything. So we have our preview. Unfortunately, so our spawning of our preview is a bit weird. Because I thought I wanted to move it, maybe even put the level above the preview. But the way it works right now, we can't just move this preview window. There we go. And it move things, because the spawn preview is, so we ran into this issue that the UI here is of course not a game object, it's a UI object. And it's in screen space overlay. So it exists in an entirely different location than these things here. And that ran into a problem of like, if we had our preview in here and spawned the game objects in here, the coordinates were all wacky. Like, it was hard to know where exactly to spawn them. And maybe that's because we didn't actually set a spawn location. Maybe we should just have an empty in here, which is where we spawn things, and spawn them here. Because right here, right now we have like our UE preview script is sitting on this. And we'd really rather it be like, come on, a child. There we go. A child of this. So like this doesn't have a canvas, but it got moved way funky over here. And I'm not sure where this actually is, because these all have positions because they are in UE space, but the spawn preview we really want to be in world space. But we want it to be here-ish. Like maybe it's not really world space. Like it's really confusing. So actually, let's just drop a prefab in here. No, I want you in the spawn preview. Thank you. So if we take this and we reset, it's transformed. So yeah, so this spawn preview box isn't here. Like it's way down here. But what we really want is for it to like live up here. But see, that's wrong, because this is in the wrong space because this UI is not in world space, it's in camera overlay space. So I'm wondering if what we need to do, so this is a UI canvas. Like I'm wondering if this should have its own UI, like its own canvas that renders separately. Well, this is why we have Git, so we can mess around with things and see what happens. This does mean you add a component canvas, render canvas camera space. Is that right? Maybe not. World space? I'm not sure that's right either. No, that's not. Like that's one thing I've yet to figure out clearly is like how to design your UI when you want it to like mesh cleanly in with your game. Because like this is the game, this black background is not UI, this is game because we're in 2D space. And maybe that's part of some of the confusion is that the game is 2D, the UI is in 2D, and so it's really easy to want to conflate the two. That. Why is this? Okay, so remove component. There we go. However, the preview window's size is now borked. Okay, let's just reset everything. There we go. Just reload it all. So we were messing with moving the spawn controller or the spawn preview inside here. And what would happen if we dropped this in here? This has a position of 0, 0. This has a non-zero, 0 position. But, so we want it to be like here, right? This is so weird because these, or what are these in like pixels? Like this doesn't move in, moves in giant units. Oh my gosh, that's so weird. Yeah, Zaysha. Um, yeah, I think that's where my brain is struggling with tonight, is that in a 2D game, it's hard to think of the game space as being a separate pixel space than the canvas UE space. And so I'm wanting to use the piece preview here. Uh, yeah, I saw there are different canvas modes, and we can try messing with that and see what happens. Because I need my game UI, which is like the score and the block preview. And the challenge with the block preview is this is just like a game object. Like this is the same thing that gets spawned in for the actual game. Um, but I also have regular UI screens and stuff which do need to be in the overlay space. Um, it's only this game UI that's like meant to be on the board the whole time that's tripping me up a little bit. Um, and that it just moves really funky. Like I'm trying to barely move this and it's moving all over the place. Um, and it could just be the weirdness of, trying to put a game object, and that's really, you could have separate. Yeah, that's definitely something to try, and we can go ahead and try that because, I mean, I have everything backed up and saved at this point. So, uh, we do need a canvas. Create an empty parent. Hello, I said rename, thank you. I already have a game UI. This is a horrible name. We will rename this later. Reset it. Add a canvas. So if we put this in world space, we can see that there our score elements and stuff are here somewhere. But they're clearly not, I mean, I guess this is the weirdness of world space now, is that these are scaled massively too large to be in world space. Ooh, and the border is all blurry. Look at that. Yeah. Um, oh, well, now it's like itty bitty little blob. Ooh, it's yeah. Okay, what's going on? We're gonna have to probably zero all of these out because they're being weird. Um, the rec tool. So we come into our game. Here's the score. What am I moving? I guess that is the rec tool. Yeah, but there's... Yeah, I have a feeling that the world space UI is going to be very challenging. What did I scale? I scaled something. I shouldn't have scaled this. I should have scaled the parent. Don't know why this has a scale other than 1. But now we've like lost. Oh, there's our preview. So we bring this in here. We set the game space UI scale to 0.01, 0.01. Okay, that's, yeah, that looks like we were maybe headed down the right direction there. So maybe that's a little small. 5. Oh, so we gotta make it uniform. Guess now we can futz with the font size, but it looks decent. Like it doesn't look super pixelated or something. Alt Shift. Okay. So this is not working. What is that trying to? Oh, this game. Why is this not filling its? Is it because parent is a weird concept? When you I changed. I thought that's what I was changing. Oh, that's the game space UI. This is just all weird. Yeah, because we can't use our standard fill the thingy, like fill the screen, because there is no screen to fill. So this looks vaguely like it's on the right track. I don't know why that's not wrapping downwards. I'll hide this so I can see what I'm doing. What is this? What? Why isn't that moving? I figure out what that yellow box is. Oh, it's the margin text mesh pro. Oh. So what if I want no margins? I guess that's going to behave the right way now. If I shove that, okay. Yep. And then we need a vertical layout group. Okay, we're getting closer, so maybe we do want to drop this scale down by a bit. Wow, that just like, every time we adjust the scale, it like resets everything. Because it stops. Oh, that's the game UI. It's this one here, like it has nothing to latch itself to. And so I have to keep coming back and readjusting it. Okay. So now we have this. We do want some padding on the right-hand side. And probably some on the top too. Okay. Our preview thing is now massive. What we should, since we're clearly trying to build a column here, there really should be a column object that we can fit everything in, and that will handle sizing at least the column for us. So we can rename this to, why did I just hit? Why is rename just not working? Right column. And we actually don't want it to be expanded all the way. We want it to just cover this space. And then within the right column, we also want a vertical layout group. We're not going to force things to expand. We do have a preview now. And what is this? Some sort of a layout element. The min width 300. That's a little too big. 200. There we go. And a preferred height of 200. We're not going to make it flexible, but this should mean that if we want to include a new level indicator now, duplicate the score. No, not underneath there. Thank you. Rename that to level. Remove that. Yeah, see that works. Except for we don't want the padding on this vertical layout group. We want padding, we want it to be here. And then we can put some spacing between them. Set the label value to level. There's some simple math behind. Uh, Yeah, and my camera is like a really funky size, or my resolution is a funky size. I mean, I guess it's orthographic and it's size 10. But this I think is working relatively well at this point. I think we're able to lay these out consistently. This is the only question, is how is this going to work? That's funny. So you might probably not on stream, but this is like scaled way down because we had that scaling factor. And so this thing that we added into our game space is now like was also super scaled down. So we'd have to like reverse the scaling here and the spawn preview container. You don't want to child sprite to a canvas anyway. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, you're right, because it does funky scaling and you have to double scale it. And that might be a reason to actually have kind of done this. Because I was just like, I was not liking the fact that the spawn preview object was like showing up here in the main game, even though it wasn't a game element, it was a UI element. But it was a UI element that existed in world space, or I preferred it to be in world space because it was an actual game object, not a UI element. So here, I guess this does work if we reset that. We at least can, I mean, I guess it's at least now under a separate parent, so it doesn't look like it's everywhere else. It might not be exactly parented to things, but it says like a huge margin on this side and no margin on this side. That's because we didn't tell it to do, did we? 5 and 5, there we go. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That was my, and it was only because I was like, hey, I have these prefabs here, right? These are my things. And so the way the preview system, I was like, well, why can't I just use my game objects for my previews instead of having to like render sprites for the preview? Because that would be weird. I mean, it would be doable, but it would be it would be extra work. We also toyed around with like simply placing all of those pieces in the preview area, and get them lined up manually and toggle their visibility. But I really don't like doing manual toggling of things. I'd rather everything be dynamic. Which is how it's working right now, is that this is getting spawned in, like the spawn preview script actually manages this. But we're in this weird thing of now like trying to line it up, as you mentioned, is kind of weird because we're moving one thing in one space and another thing in another. So like I can't just say, oh, this is centered here. Unless we go back to that weird almost worked thing with the scale it down to 0.1% or 0.01 and then multiply it back by 100 to get it to like scale back up. That just seems like eventually that might cause errors. This might also be like the software engineer in me like not liking this. It works. I feel like there should be a more elegant solution. But this works, I think. We'll try. Let's play. See if we didn't break everything. Let me know if the sound is too loud. I've been having trouble getting game sound to be a decent volume. And we broke something already. Oh, yep, that's right. We cannot have one of these prefabs living in the game. And we didn't start out in our menu. That's weird. Why didn't our menu start? Oops, that's not what I meant. I mean, you can see it's showing up. The alignment is funky. But because it's not centered, it's just based on whatever the pivot is of the game object. That lined up? Yeah. Oh yeah, the line clear sound effect is horrible. We need a new one. But it is. So the UI is at least back to working. So we didn't, well, almost working, other than the fact that for some reason the main menu did not show up when we started the game. Let's go look at the UI. It should have started. When we started, we said that we were transitioning to main menu, which should have showed the main menu. Running again, see what happens. That's weird. Why is it not actually showing the main menu? Set active true, which is all we were doing when we hit play and went and toggled it manually. Somebody turning them all off. Huh. Yeah, it does seem a bit familiar. Um, yeah, no, so uh, I don't know how you stumbled upon the channel to see the little bit of bio, but like, you know, I am a software engineer by trade. That's what I do, but not a game developer. And so I really wanted to start into doing game development. I've toyed with it off and on for, you know, years. Um, Hey, thanks for the follow. Uh, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna start it for real. I started down some tutorial from I watched off of. Oh man, I can't believe I forgot the guy's name. Um, it was called. Oh yeah, Code Monkey. I started doing a Code Monkey, like building one of the things from one of his videos, and I'm like, okay, this is too much all at once. Let's go make Tetris. Um, which I don't even play Tetris, but it seemed like a simple enough starting point to get going. And thus, Sirtet, which is my joke at Tetris backwards, um, this process started. And then to try to keep myself in it, I was like, uh, you know, keep myself in it. I was like, okay, well, I'll just stream the whole thing because that sounds like a great plan. And so I have I have stream if I am in Unity or C Sharp, um, I am streaming. I don't make anyone watch the YouTube videos with me, but I'm trying to stream the whole process. Um, yeah, that's awesome. So how long have you been doing a game development? I mean, sure. Awesome. What did you start out modding? GTA 1. Wow. I have never played GTA 1. I think the first GTA I played was 3, maybe. Yeah, I think it was 3. It's once it went into full 3D. I never played any of the 2D variants. But yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Um, yeah, no, it's been a trip. Like my very first introduction to game dev would have been with like Game Maker back in the mid 90s uh as like a kid. And so yeah, like I've toyed with it but never taken it seriously for more than like a couple weeks at a time. So that's awesome that you've actually like stuck with it uh and tinkered with it for that long. Um yeah. Now I'm really confused because I didn't think we touched any part of the UI that would suddenly cause it to not start up correctly. And so I'm a bit confused uh, why when we make our initial transition we're not showing things. You can always go for the old like.log. Let's make sure we can also show this to make sure it's not all being hidden randomly. Yeah, I get that. Like, yeah, it's the same. It's always been something like I've played games and always wanted to make them. But yeah, it's never been my job. Back in like, back in like high school and stuff, I was like, oh yeah, I want to be a game developer when I get to, that's what I want to do for my job. Then, just that never panned out, and I ended up going to college and getting a degree in CS, and that led me down, research path and then into industry and not game development. So we are saying we're showing the main menu. Don't believe it. And we're hiding the game over screen, which is fine. It's already hidden, but that's fine. So it's like, now who's hiding it after the fact? Just why? Oh, because we're playing. I just want to save the game. Made a lot of changes. Sure, that's pretty awesome. People have done some crazy stuff inside of Minecraft. I love Minecraft. That's one of my most played games. And I attempted to write a mod for Minecraft at one point. But that didn't pan out either. Oh, that's fun. You've got like where it's going to land previewed in glass. Oh, and you've got the whole piece preview too on the side, like a multi-depth preview. And it looks like the board background changes based on what level you're on. Is this all command blocks, or is this like a Java mod? Ah, nice. Yeah. I've never touched the command block stuff. Like I said, I messed a tiny little bit with writing the mods in Java, which just seems far nicer than doing it in Lua, in my opinion. Oh, nice. That's awesome, Zaysha. That's super cool. Yeah, see, like, you already have Tetris done. I mean, here we are implementing it again, and you already have it in Minecraft. Yeah, that would be pretty crazy to like be exploring through this world and suddenly run across this giant Tetris board that you didn't know was on the server. That would be awesome. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, let's see. So like 1.5? Is that about 10 years ago? Nine-year. Oh yeah, yeah, no, I get that though. I get that 9 years. Yep. I'm forever stuck in the last decade was the early 2000s, not the early 2010s. So yeah, I totally get that. Um, but yeah, I did manage to fix the bug. So the problem was that I had this method for start that would hide all of these screens under the UI. But it was on start, and it just so happened that the state transition, which also happens on start, was all happening before this start command. And so it would transition into the state of main menu, show the main menu, then this would run the start method and hide it again. And I don't know why that didn't happen before. Something about reordering things caused the order to happen in the wrong order. And I know I think, force the ordering of these to always run the UI code before the rest of the code, but I just put it into awake. It's fine to run in awake since it's just setting all of the screens as active, as false. But now when we hit play, we actually show the game. It's great. It seems like the UI is still working. Yeah. Oh, clearly the preview, I'm gonna have to work on aligning that now, since it really shows out of kilter. Okay, nobody really wants to watch me play a Tetris, so we'll just kill the game. And we get game over, no score. And there you go. It says quitting, we can't actually quit because we're in the Unity editor, but. Okay, so do you have a hard drop? Yes, I think so. What I do have is like when you hit the space, like it accelerates, like it falls faster, if that's what you're referring to. You can still control it while it's dropping. I mean, if you were fast enough. But basically, it just does drop. Hard is instant. No, it is not. I don't have a hard drop where it just instantly shows up at the bottom. It is just a super fast drop. I don't know, does Tetris have a hard drop? Like I said, I haven't played actual Tetris in ages to know what it does and does not have. Yeah, I think I just, yeah, I wasn't in for the original, like, Tetris craze. And then, yeah, it was one that I never really super got into. So I'm not super familiar with all the rules and how it standards behaves. I know my rotation is definitely not Tetris. If you watch the blocks rotate, they rotate around a fixed point, which is not Tetris. Tetris rotation is weird. Tetris Friends. I've not heard of that. Have you played any of the Tetris Attack? That came out, I guess that's come out for a while back now, but that was like the new iteration of Tetris. I always kind of wanted to make a Tetris game that was like round, in the sense that like the game board was a circle and the pieces would drop, and instead of moving the piece, you basically rotated the circular game board underneath. I just thought that would be kind of cool. Yeah, on SNES. Yeah, SNES was the console that we skipped growing up. We had a NES, and I think we got it close to the end of the NES, lifespan, and then that's all we had until an N64. So we completely just jumped over SNES. What's interesting is we never changed our spawn behavior or preview. Yeah, everything still ended up in the right location. That's really weird because we never changed this hard-coded offset. Because I really would have expected actually that they would have shown up in really random locations, because we set this up so that if you added them at 0, 0, they would be in the right location. So that's weird. Do they not have the right parent? No, the UE preview is this, which is positioned over here. We're using our current transform as the parent. Why don't we pick up our parents' location? Oh, parent world position states. Is that what we're missing? I mean, I guess, or if we just did this, transform that position. I mean, it's a little funky. Why did our position move? We're gonna have to make our pieces don't fit in the sidebar. It's like 8.5 and 2.2. So why did this move when the game started? It's like I wanted to pick up the parent's position. So the local position I need to set to 0. I mean, at least it didn't move this time. It's still in the wrong position. Why is it moving every time? Or is it just showing me the widget for the wrong thing? See, like the handles keep shifting with every piece. I would expect them to have stayed the same. Okay. Oh, at least it's... Ah! Why is it all off? keeps being off. It was more right when we had that hard-coded vector in here. Just not the way I like to do it. I don't really like hard-coding things like that hiding in there. I'd rather have like a widget handle I can move around to adjust this instead of like tweaking these little values. Okay, well we had originally started tonight trying to add a UI for the level indicator, and then we redesigned our whole UI layout. So fun, but now let's at least close this one task out before continuing to poke around at why the shapes don't position where I want them to be. Okay. My brain just stopped working. Okay, so we know our game controller, where's our game manager? Our game manager has an event for on level change. That just means our level UI needs a script to handle that. So UI level, open that up. On level change, so we can take in what level we are. Using TMP Pro, text mesh pro, value equal value dot text equals. There you go. Now we can assign this new level script to this. Did I go? Oh, that's the wrong one. What is the name of the class that we need? Text Mesh Pro GUI. There we go. There we go. Now we can drag the value it's going to be setting to there. So when this gets an event, it will set this value here, which is this, this one right here. Then in our game manager, we want a new listener for on level changed. This to be our level UI object, which on UI level has on level changed. And then for the sake of everyone watching, we are going to change the number of lines cleared needed for a level down to 1. So we don't have to watch me clear 10 lines to verify that the UI is working. Oh, lovely. We apparently don't send out an initial event to clear the level. So it just defaults to whatever it was. But it did go up. So I really left myself in quite the mess here. And we do, it's probably not noticeable at the moment, but the pieces, ooh, that was horrible, I can't see. The pieces do start falling, and I just give up. trying to talk and play Tetris at the same time is impossible, apparently, for me. The pieces do fall faster the more lines we clear. And we'll maybe one day clear another line. Come on, I just want to clear a line. Oh, apparently there's no frame perfect sliding in this version of Tetris. Yeah, okay, nobody wants to watch this. This is unrecoverable. But the level indicator did in fact go up. But we do want it to be cleared when we start. So let's go look how we did that with the score. Oh yeah, when we started the game, we set the score to 0 and then invoked it. So let's set the level to 1, and on level changed. This way when we first start the game, we're invoking the listeners so that they all have an initial value to start with. Start, yep, level 1, score 0. Whee! Interesting. Our preview is, well, it's really graying out these pieces. Is that because this gray boxy thingy is at a higher draw level than the game object, and so it's overlaying it and making it look faded? Not cool. Not cool at all. Oh, that's the wrong piece. Okay, fine. Okay, so that works. We have a level UI showing up now, which is what we wanted. And cool. Let's go update our Trello board. We can move this to done. And we've cleared out the whole set of stuff that I had pulled in to say, like, this is what we need in order to actually call it a game. It's a very ugly game at the moment, but it does implement the core chunks of Tetris. So let's see, from our backlog, is there anything that looks like it'd be fun to try next? I thought it'd be fun to do some post-processing. Never done any of that, to like blur the blocks when they're in their fast fall. So that might be fun. What happens if you try to rotate a piece against the wall? It won't let you rotate. Yeah, so if we launch the game, as this is where I said, like, the rotation is not Tetris rotation. Turn the music down. The rotation is not Tetris rotation. So if I go all the way up against the side and try to rotate this, it won't do it. I have to back away enough for it to actually rotate. It will on that side, I guess, because of where the pivot is. But like here, it won't rotate. If I try to rotate, here it won't rotate. I do have to back up. So like this is weird, like it won't rotate at all because there's not enough space. Because if we look, and I know this is not Tetris rotation, because if we look in here, the piece has a pivot point, which is one of its blocks. So in this case, we set the pivot to this block. So it always rotates around this fixed point. And so like if this fixed point, if it's in this orientation and you're trying to rotate, clockwise, there's got to be one space here. But if we rotate it all the way around such that we're rotating from this block, then you can't rotate it clockwise without having two spaces. And I know that's not how Tetris rotates. That was just the quick implementation for rotation, was to pick a fixed point and rotate around it. Yes. Oh, before we do anything else, we need to commit our work. Make sure everything's saved in C#. Oh, we actually do want to go back and undo our change of one line per level. That's a major refactor. Okay. Yeah, it pushes it off the wall. And we could totally do that. So if we were trying to rotate against the wall, push the piece away to allow for rotation. We could do that because in our code, let's close everything. In our code, we have, it's actually in the piece behavior. Like when we rotate, we check to see if it's a valid rotation by getting all of our blocks, checking what their position would be if we were to rotate them, and then verifying that the grid location they would be in is empty. This happens to also return false if the grid location they would be in is outside of the board. Push down to fill a space. Yeah, I've heard of T-spins. I don't actually know what they are. I've watched enough like Tetris. I'm a big fan of like the history of speedrun category of videos on YouTube. And so I've seen like history of Tetris videos to have heard the word T-spin and know what the T block is, but not really understand the T-spin. But in this, like we said, like when we check, like, is it a valid rotation to rotate 90? We could say, if we can't rotate right 90, well, let's try sliding over and then rotate 90. And if that's valid, then we leave our slide. So that's something we could implement. But at the moment, I'm kind of curious about adding some motion blur because I've never done any post-processing before. Where do we add post-processing? I don't even remember where we add post-processing. Wait, actually, is it post-processing like a thingy in here? Well, go to the all-knowing Google Unity. Okay. This looks like, yeah, this is ancient version of Unity for motion blur. I think I don't know which render pipeline I'm actually using. Those are all planned. Post-processing volumes. Because I thought post-processing went on your camera. Yes, I don't actually. It could be that motion blur like this is not going to be easy. I'm sure this is not super exciting. Oh man, I really thought adding motion blur would not be that hard, but maybe it really is because it's not, the camera's not moving and it's the object that's moving. I mean, I feel like at this point we're into lots of visual stuff because the game just looks really ugly. And so I feel like we need to like spruce up the sides of it. Let's what do some other Tetris-y things look like? Get some ideas for what to do on the side of it. I guess a lot of things are just kind of like here we go. Could make it look like this, just, you know, super plain. Ooh, or we could have particle effects going all over behind the screen. Good Lord, this would be so dizzying to watch. Feeling something more like this, you know, a background, but not something that's like gonna drive us crazy looking at. So, that's kind of cool. Well, I mean, it is free, so you kind of understand why they put their logos on it. But here, that's probably not high enough resolution. But that's really cool. Do you have a higher resolution version I can steal? No. That's like the biggest it gets. Yeah, don't think that's going to be quite large enough for us to just use. I'm not really an artist on the computer, so I kind of don't want to try to draw my own background. I might just go for some abstract shape art stuff to throw in the background. That's a little too abstract. That's not helping us. Cyberpunk abstract shape art. Go Google. What can you find me? Maybe we just do something blurry. Just add some color, but some blur or something to it. Oh, that's kind of cool. It's here. We'll start with this as stock, and then I think it would actually be kind of cool to implement this background as a moving background with these shapes, just kind of moving all around. Um, it's not very high resolution. It's actually lower resolution than our game. It's not going to take us all the way back. Tool size large. That's a depressing number of choices. I mean, I guess we'll just go for it. What have we got to lose? Where am I placing this stuff? Just save it into downloads for now. That's fine. But, okay. So, currently the play field is a black sprite. 2D object sprite. It's fine. Background. I feel like this is also this weirdness of UI versus game elements. No, I guess I could have just brought it in, huh? And yeah, because like, yeah, this is that weirdness of UI versus game elements. It's because we'd want it to fill the whole thing. I guess right now, that's what we'll do. Same with the field. Yeah, see, the funny thing is the field's in world space because it corresponds exactly to the size of the underlying grid. So, image. Ooh, yeah, but we want this behind everything, not in front of everything. So it does actually need to be a sprite. This isn't UI. This is, in fact, a sprite. Um, Wait, I thought I rotated that. I mean, that certainly looks cooler than the weird grayness that was before. And then, so the weird thing is we actually want, we want to have like some border on the bottom, which means we have to move our camera. And our camera is currently fit to perfectly fit this on the size. So if we shrink that, that's not really what we want to do. But if we shift it, our UI doesn't shift. And the way everything is set up, this bottom corner here is 0, 0, and that's the bottom of the game board as well. And we are using a very, very hack in our code that in order to get the grid positions, eventually I'll click the right keys. In order to get the grid positions, we're actually looking at the block's world position and transforming that into integers in order to find its grid position. So, I mean, I guess this would continue to work if instead of we were using the position, we were using the local position, but then we'd have to change everywhere. So yeah, we don't really want that. We want to move the camera, not move the board, because weirdness will ensue if we attempt to start moving the board. See, that fits like perfectly. We kind of, I guess, want to zoom out just a little bit. Like that now shows the bottom, but all of this stuff is now slightly out of view. As well as the top of the viewport is out of view now. Which, I mean, I guess shifting all of that stuff down is not too bad. And that kind of fixes it. And all of our Tetris boards, they all show up. I guess things always slide in from off screen, don't they? They don't just appear on screen. But we don't currently have any way to hide them because we don't have any, I guess that's a clipping mask or something. I guess that would be the Z ordering, so that, and we would need a clipping mask. So this background would have a Z order higher than the blocks. So that the blocks would actually like spawn behind it. Um, yeah, because what happens if we drop a block on our spawner? Yeah, like right now it shows above it. If we reorder these though, it still shows above it. Spawner. So Z. Z of 1. Okay. So Z of 1 it shows behind, but when it comes down, it's still behind because the background needs to go to a 2. Well, not the background. Field needs to go to 2. Yeah, because there's no cutout. Now I need to do a clipping mask. Mask. Rect mask 2D. Is that what I want? No? Maybe? Cut square out of sprite. Not a mesh. I want it as a sprite. Sprite mask. Hide or reveal parts of a sprite or group of sprites. Okay, so instead of that, remove, add a sprite mask. And sprite is this. I don't think that's working. I don't think that's really what I want. So what was the rect 2D mask? Rect mask 2D. Hmm. I mean, I guess. Hmm. Yeah, it's like we want the piece to be drawn. But we want, so it's like we want to cut a hole out of this rectangle. And I mean, we could go do it in an image editing program and like literally cut an alpha hole out of it. But I don't like doing that. Like I like doing everything programmatically. I don't like having to cut textures because it means if we want to change the texture, we have to go recut it. I'd rather figure out a way to like not render the whole component here. 'Cause these are sprites. To not render the whole component by blocking it behind that. Which is why I was thinking this is some sort of masking. But I think you have to mask the thing being drawn, not put a mask and everything just kind of like hides behind it. I mean, the benefit right now of like it being at the top of the screen is it doesn't matter. Like we slide in from the top, and so it's like, oh, no biggie. Yeah, you don't realize that you're drawing on top of the background because you can't see me. Which works. Uh, so we did have that weirdness over here. This looks like it's grayed out. I guess it's not. It just appears grayed out because of the color. What did we actually pick a task? No, we didn't. We just started looking at random stuff. We had a task for this. Move that to in progress. Okay. I mean, this is an improvement. I would still like to figure out how to show the top edge, yet cut off the sprites. Um, Like I want to be able to use this field, which is sized to what we want, to cut a hole in this background without literally having to go cut a hole in it in an image editor. Well, I am going to take a really short break and be right back because it's been almost 2 hours. So, yeah, I'll take a short break and be right back. Okay, I am back. Yeah, I mean, I suppose a shader could be a way to do it. I have no idea. I've never used shaders. It seems like a reasonable answer. I mean, aren't shaders the answer for everything? Um, hmm. Just feel like there should be a way to do this using sprite masks. I just don't know enough about sprite masks. To know like how best to use them. Yeah, see, they're using a sprite mask to reveal what's underneath. Which I guess we're kind of doing. Yeah. So we think of the background having a sprite mask. The problem is we can't change the size of the sprite mask. It has to already be the right size, and that's the problem, is I don't have the right sized thing. That's funny. Don't do that. That's not what I mean. So this is clearly not right because they showed it moving around. Hidden image. Visible inside of mask. Can we use this here? Oh, that worked. It punched a hole through. um, yeah, that is cool. Thanks, Zaysha, for hanging out and giving some tips into the UI stuff and some of the Tetris-y bits of things. It was super great to meet you. So yeah, if you need to head out, I totally get that. It is starting to get late here too, but appreciate you hanging out with me. But it looks like we did almost do it. One of these will remove the sprite mask. Or maybe not quite. Yeah, now we got it working, but it disappeared. It's so weird. Ah, 5, 10, 10, 20. 5, 10, 10, 20. Make the color black. So we'll rename this to cutout. And this shows back up now. What about if we scale it? If we scale it big, it's the wrong order. This is -1 in the order. We want this to be like -2. Yeah, we want it to be behind. Okay, if we make this transparent, yeah, the background doesn't show through because we got a hole in it. Wait, what if we're going about this the wrong way? What if we don't want to cut the hole in the background? We want to cut the hole in the sprite, or cut off the edges of the sprites in our prefab. So if we bring this back to our spawner, and we slide it down a little bit, what if in all of these, we set to mask interaction to visible outside the mask? No, visible inside the mask. There we go. Ah, that's actually what we want. So we don't want the background to be doing this. 0, center field, 0. I mean, I guess we can also say inside the mask as well. Cut out mask, and now this piece slides in and out of this mask. There we go. That's what we really want. We're chopping off the piece, not chopping up the background layer. Because this also means that our center field can now be ever so slightly transparent. And it still works. And it means we can zoom the camera out a little bit and show the top of the screen. And that's okay. And so this, oh yes, beautiful, it slides off. Oh, an error. Oh yeah, our silly little piece down here. Really should probably just fix that to allow that to be null. Oh, we didn't modify all of our prefabs. Okay, almost done updating all of these. Probably could have just done this in code. Why didn't that work? Because we do want it visible inside of mask. Okay, so let's do this in code. C# piece behavior. start for each transform child and transform. We go over each of our. Actually, we can just do this get all get components and children sprite renderer each sprite renderer. Okay. Set the mask interaction equal to sprite mask interaction draw visible inside the mask. Okay. FX line clear effect 0.3. Let's try this. I guess it's slightly less annoying when the volume is turned down. That was a horrible play. Oops. This made me think of a new feature. I'm giving a preview of where your piece is going to land. Okay. Well, this certainly looks cooler having a bit of a background there. Are there actually differences in here now? There you go. Add background to board. Okay, so we did that. It definitely looks like we could use a little tweaking on the preview. There's a way to fit the world space canvas. Doesn't seem really useful. There we go. Okay, let's go back to our board. We did that one. Kind of want to see just what this looks like instead of straight up moving it, sliding it. Um, hmm, hmm, hmm. I see falling only happens on the timer. So we would need to do like IEnumerable animate motion. I mean, really, we would do it with like a target position. So we'd have like a 3 target position pool is moving. So in vector3 dot move towards current dot translate. And none of those are very helpful. So let's try back to vector3 dot move towards transform dot position target position speed times time dot delta time. Speed equals 1. We'll just see what this looks like. We should probably really make this a an editor visible. Okay, and then fall doesn't do this. It does target position equals transform dot position plus. Okay. Is there a reason we're not moving? Oh, because we never set is moving to true. Now let's try this. Okay. Still not sliding. Okay. Oh, because we're forgetting to assign it to something. That's so weird. This smooth falling looks kind of cool, but it's really hard to keep track of what's supposed to be going on. What if we did it this way? We clearly need two different speeds. Okay, well, if we turn this into a traditional we can actually have an X speed that is faster than our Y speed. Or vector 3 for this. It's not across. Don't think there's a piecewise for this, so this means we get a Alright, I'll just do this as 0 because there's no okay. say random guess. Okay, X should be really fast. Because it feels really jerky moving side to side. But I think we're just gonna call it quits for tonight. So thanks everyone for joining. I'll see everybody later.